Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me a voice. My name is Gawel Solosky from Bengal University. I would today talk about different biodiesel plants and a comparison to diesel energy characteristics. My talk would be based on article to Alexandria Engineering Journal, written by Professor Syed from Indian Institute of Technology. An article is named Influence of Additive Mixed Ethanol Biodiesel Blends on Diesel Engine Characteristics. The biodiesel and influence of different particles, as he chose aluminium oxide particles, Jatropha addition, biofuel from algae, and different fame. So fatty allyl ester addition. So different addition to checked and checked how occur. So how this and Karanha the rest and how this works, how this to volumetric and thermal break efficiency, break and hydroculture range works. Why this make the transformation of from conventional places into to biofuels requires to change our characteristic of our engines, and if not, to change, modify bioethanol such that wouldn't be different or slightly even better than traditional oils. Therefore, we should make and compare. So he compare difference. So Jatropha, Karanja, neem, eucalyptus tree, microalgae, plastic oil, and waste cooking oil, which are most researched biodiesels. Waste cooking oil is even used as oil for fuel in airplanes. The rest are making such to make suitable to ethanol to be lubricant, and important is biobutanol. Also another issue is nitrous oxide emission, because this is high and high concentration it blocks, and this is the one reason disadvantage of using fatty allyl esters, that according to Badavi, Mutusamu et al., as he shows, the emission is quite higher than normal, and this is the trouble. It's how often this happens, in what conditions. Therefore, Professor Syed decided to check how this mixture of allyl esters works in the engine and how different mixture in comparison have. So we have the structure of diesel tank, which has some biodiesel tank with some mixtures, which goes to engine. This engine is connected to eddy current dynamometer and gas outlet, which exhaust gas analyzer, and these two data, according to the temperature sensors, cold water and exchange, is used to measure the certain number heating value, and then written the characteristics. The all was according to norm and standards of American society. The heating value was, in case of the certain number, wasn't even higher, the highest in case of quite 15 Yatropha percent, and nanoparticles was the highest. In the all over case, for need deviation is much lower in certain number, but heating value was similar in case of adding only biotrapha ions. In case of viscosity was similar, then lower sometimes. So yes, and that's to a certain number. We add also can be added butanol and as lubricant. Therefore, we got the brake according to brake thermal efficiency. The brake thermal efficiency changes with a load. So if we have the engine with halfly or partially tank fulfilled, the diesel has much more. Diesel still has much more efficiency. In case of full tank, the efficiency of biodiesel mixture is even quite higher, but still thermal efficiency decreases much with a use of this biofuel. So if more lack, the efficiency of traditional is still slightly higher. But in other cases, the most useful in case of brake thermal efficiency was the mixture of Yatropha 5 and Karanha 5% and nanoparticles of aluminium 100 milligrams. This was the highest, and another is 10 to 10 ethanol. This is the other case. These two cases, when 50 loads is 50% load, can higher, can have better than traditional oil. But in case of loading lower than 20%, the traditional oil has still better performances. And in case of mechanical efficiency, or also the fulfill of tank has big influence. So if the tank was fulfilled in 20% of lower, The efficiency of neat diesel of traditional oil, conventional oil, was still higher. Only some slightly less was to mixture of Jatropha 10% and ethanol 20%, nanoparticles 100 milligrams, and Karanja oil 10% was higher from 50% loading and much more in full. But still, also in mechanical efficiency, the tank fulfilling below 25 degrees says oil. And in case of volumetric efficiency, the difference were the same, not matter how loading, and even comparable. In case of volumetric efficiency per volume, the best performances, however still equal, was for the Jatropha 10 and Karanja 10 in ethanol 20. The nanoparticles didn't help to make better volumetric efficiency, whereas fuel consumption was still in case much higher in case of traditional oil was less, so efficiency was higher. So in case of diesel oil, we use much more. Only in case of fulfilling load, if is 100% or 75%, then efficiency of brake fuel consumption during brake using was slightly higher. It was slightly lower than traditional oil, especially in which we get nanoparticles. So we see that in case of brake and fuel consumption and brake using, the still in case of especially in empty tank, half empty tank, still traditional oil has better efficiency, and this equates to carbon dioxide percent emission. Unfortunately, diesel oil still has higher production of carbon dioxide than other in every case. So we need to make this biodiesel such that will not produce so much carbon dioxide. In case of nitrogen oxide, also, unfortunately, biodiesel has worse results than traditional oil, slightly, 2%. Especially, but in case of 75% fulfillment, the much higher was in case of diesel, in case biodiesel than traditional. In other was only slightly higher of biodiesel than traditional oil. And conclusion is that the blends helps to produce in production of comparable, but still the biggest trouble is the fulfilling of tank that faster and worse is in the mostly empty tank that traditional oil behave better, and the trouble is that nitric oxide is also comparable, and combustion of production of carbon dioxide is still big trouble. But blending of nanoparticles helps to reduce it, and ethanol. So this is the tips that we have to make biofuels comparable to traditional fuels. So now maybe biobutanol addition more could help this. So thank you very much for listening me.